Right now, a 4-kilometer-wide interstellar object is hurtling through our solar system at nearly 180,000 kilometers per hour. It is not from here. Its trajectory defies gravitational expectation. Its surface reflects light in unfamiliar wavelengths, and its silence, its lack of signal, has drawn the attention of every major observatory on Earth. NASA has released only fragments of data, and the rest remains unspoken. At 180,000 kilometers per hour, a cold fragment from the deep interstellar dark sliced through the solar system's outer edge. First registered as a faint point of reflected light within the Pan-STARRS Observatory's nightly sweep, its signature appeared unremarkable until its motion refused to fit. The algorithms that mapped millions of asteroids each month faltered. This one did not curve. It did not obey the sun. Its path was not gravitationally bound. It was passing through. The designation came quickly. 3I Atlas, the third known interstellar object ever recorded. Its trajectory whispered of origins beyond the heliopause, beyond the frozen boundary where our sun's influence gives way to the void between stars. For a brief moment it was a scientific curiosity. Then came the numbers. Spectroscopy revealed something no comet should have: reflectivity patterns inconsistent with volatile ice or silicate dust. The surface shone too evenly, as if coated. The albedo exceeded any natural analog on record. When the object accelerated, slightly, inexplicably, scientists first suspected outgassing. But the vectors didn't align. The thrust appeared directional, controlled. Across the globe, observatories turned their lenses skyward. From Mauna Kea to the Atacama, instruments strained to capture a clearer signal. Light curves pulsed with mathematical regularity, not random tumbling. Every spin cycle seemed to echo ratios too precise to be coincidence. Was it a natural fragment, or something more deliberate? As data accumulated, so did unease. The emission spectrum revealed faint metallic peaks, not impossible but unusual. The timing of its brightness shifts matched intervals seen in engineered rotation controls. Each explanation led to another contradiction. It was as if the object had been designed to appear almost natural, yet not quite. The world's astronomical networks buzzed with encrypted chatter. Teams compared readings, aligning timestamps and photon counts, hoping to expose an error. But the pattern persisted. 3I Atlas was approaching fast, tracing a hyperbolic curve that would take it within sight of Earth's orbit. Its speed, its spin, its silence, all defied classification. Then, quietly, an anomaly appeared in the data feeds. The open-access telemetry channel from NASA's Near-Earth Object Program, updated in real time for decades, suddenly froze. No announcement. No maintenance alert. Just a void where information should have been. The scientists continued their observations, but something had changed. The signals they shared came slower now, fragmented through private channels. It was as if the object's mystery had drawn a curtain over the transparency that once defined discovery. And so, under the indifferent light of the stars, Theoteles continued its approach, its surface glinting with impossible precision, its motion a whisper from the interstellar deep. The data says natural. The pattern says otherwise. And then, without explanation, the public data feed from NASA's Near-Earth Object Program went dark. At 02:17 Universal Time, the Deep Space Network received a faint telemetry ping from an object crossing the ecliptic plane. The signal was weak, scattered through cosmic noise, yet within its rhythm was a deviation too structured to ignore. 3I Atlas, the interstellar wanderer, had begun to accelerate again, not randomly, deliberately. For weeks, observatories around the globe raced to track it. In Spain, the Calar Alto telescope captured fluctuations in brightness that pulsed like a heartbeat. In Australia, radio arrays caught faint modulations, timed perfectly with the object's spin. And in the cold, echoing control rooms of research stations, the chatter shifted from excitement to unease. The mathematics refused to balance. This was no passive rock adrift in space. Something about 3I Atlas seemed aware. Then, as the data mounted, the transparency stopped. NASA's Near-Earth Object Database, once freely accessible, went into sudden, scheduled maintenance. Public feeds went silent. The pages that once streamed real-time tracking displayed only a blank message, under system review. No further explanation. Behind closed doors, Encrypted correspondence replaced open collaboration. Messages between astronomers, normally shared freely, were now coded cautious, almost fearful. Independent researchers filled the void. Amateurs with backyard telescopes and custom-built spectrometers began publishing their own findings. Their data revealed traces of unusual metals, titanium alloys, boron compounds, and spectral lines associated with industrial processes, not cosmic chemistry. Within hours of appearing online, the pages vanished. Some servers were wiped entirely. Official agencies remained quiet. Every interview request was met with the same phrase: "We are assessing observational anomalies," but in the isolation of late-night observatories, whispers began. A handful of radio operators reported structured bursts, short rhythmic signals echoing precisely with 3I Atlas's rotational cycle. Not random static, not interference patterns. Some called it coincidence, others called it communication. In Cambridge, a group of astrophysicists ran Fourier analyses on the public data still available. What they found were harmonic intervals, mathematical spacing that aligned with prime number sequences. Nature does not count in primes, intelligence does. Yet even as the evidence built, the data evaporated. Downloads failed. Files returned errors. Observations disappeared from archives, as if erased from the record itself. The object continued its silent journey, drawing closer to the plane of Earth's orbit. The world's largest telescopes kept their focus trained, their operators bound by non-disclosure agreements. The public saw nothing but a quiet sky, unaware that a foreign body, an enigma from another system, was descending through the solar system at a velocity of impossible intent. What could accelerate without fuel? What could spin with perfect precision, then pulse across the radio spectrum in measured code? For the few still watching through independent channels, the question deepened into unease. 3I Atlas was not behaving like any comet, asteroid, or fragment ever recorded. It responded to no natural law they understood. Its motion had purpose, its silence meaning, and as its light grew brighter against the black, the clock ticked toward a close approach that no one could predict and no one was willing to explain. Whatever 3I Atlas was, it wasn't behaving like a rock, and its closest approach was only weeks away. At precisely 0342 Universal Time, the Deep Space Network recorded a shift, a fractional deviation in trajectory, only 0.04 degrees, yet monumental in implication. No natural force accounted for it. The sun's gravity, solar radiation pressure, and known cometary outgassing all failed to explain the motion. 3I Atlas, the interstellar wanderer, had changed course, subtly, purposefully. Its new vector carried it toward the inner solar system, threading a path just 1 million kilometers from Earth, astronomically close. At this range, planetary defense radars prepared to capture the most detailed echo ever obtained from an extrasolar body. What they found was not reflection, but emission. The object radiated faint, coherent energy within the microwave band, structured, modulated, and unlike any known natural process. It wasn't propulsion in the traditional sense, but a form of controlled interaction, as though adjusting its trajectory through deliberate intent rather than mechanical thrust. Across the world, scientists struggled to comprehend what the data implied. At the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, analysts examined the energy fluctuations and detected harmonic intervals that repeated with uncanny precision, ratios identical to those found in prime number sequences. Nature rarely produces such mathematical order. Intelligence, however, does. Astrophysicists compared the readings with prior interstellar visitors. Neither Oumuamua nor Borisov exhibited such complex modulation. Atlas was something different, structured, reactive, alive in its motion. Its acceleration resembled guidance, not drift. Could an interstellar object, crossing light years of vacuum, be navigating? And if so, to what destination? In Cambridge, theoretical models were rewritten overnight. Some proposed a hollow body with internal gyroscopic systems, an ancient probe coasting through cosmic history. Others imagined a relic of long-dead civilizations, still obeying its initial programming. Yet all models failed to explain one thing: the precision. Every rotation, every fluctuation, every thermal pulse aligned within thousandths of a second, as though calibrated against an invisible metronome. The deeper scientists looked, the clearer the anomaly became. A repeating modulation in its light curve appeared every 10-26 hours, precisely matching the interval of its microwave pulse. Within that window, researchers detected micro-variations resembling binary sequences, patterns within patterns. The universe had delivered not randomness but rhythm. Yet amid the growing speculation, silence persisted. NASA issued no public statements. Internal memos leaked, references to restricted signals and unverified telemetry. Some believed the agency was withholding confirmation to prevent hysteria. Others whispered of something far stranger, coordination, not concealment. As 3I Atlas neared perihelion, its emissions intensified, then abruptly stopped. One moment it pulsed with precision, the next it was gone. Radar reflections vanished. Optical telescopes caught only a dim, fading smear across the night. It had not broken apart, nor changed direction. It had simply ceased to exist within observable spectra. No debris, no trail, no explanation. The sensors continued scanning, searching for the signature that had defied every natural law they knew. But the sky remained silent, the coordinates empty. What kind of traveler crosses the gulf between stars only to vanish upon arrival? And if it came here with purpose, what happens when that purpose is fulfilled? Then in a single night, the emissions ceased, and the object vanished from radar. At 0411 Universal Time, 3I Atlas ceased to exist, at least in any measurable sense. One moment, its radar signature pulsed clearly against the cosmic background. The next it was gone. No fragmentation event, no impact plume, just absence. Its reflected light dissolved into statistical noise, indistinguishable from the quantum shimmer of deep space. For the first time since its discovery, humanity was staring at nothing, an interstellar traveler that had simply unmade itself before their eyes. In the control rooms of space agencies around the world, confusion turned to disbelief. Telescopes recalibrated. Infrared sensors rescanned the same coordinates. Even the James Webb Space Telescope pivoted toward the region of loss, probing for thermal residue or ionized vapor. Nothing. The vacuum had reclaimed it, leaving behind neither heat nor dust. It was as if 3I Atlas had slipped between the wavelengths of reality itself. Theories multiplied like echoes. Plasma cloaking through charged particle interference. Optical lensing triggered by dark matter interaction. A quantum reflection effect, where an object under certain energy states could theoretically diffract observation entirely. Yet none aligned with the data. Every model ended with contradiction. For all human understanding could tell, the object had not exploded, moved, or decayed. It had departed from detectability. But silence in the visible spectrum was not silence everywhere. In the days following its disappearance, magnetometers stationed across the Pacific Ocean recorded synchronized flux events. Microbursts of magnetic deviation, identical in amplitude, separated by exact intervals of time. Each burst lasted only fractions of a second, yet the rhythm was unmistakable, regular, coordinated, intelligent. At first, analysts dismissed them as solar interference, but the sun was quiet. Solar wind readings remained flat. The flux originated not from space, but from within Earth's magnetosphere itself. Something was interacting with the planet, subtly, invisibly, and in direct correlation with the moment 3I Atlas vanished from sight. Within the halls of major research institutions, a deeper unease took hold. Leaked documents from international agencies hinted at emergency protocols. Sections once thought theoretical: extraterrestrial intelligence contingency, Category 4 response. The memos referred not to discovery, but to post-contact stabilization. Whatever that meant, it carried an implication few dared to say aloud. Perhaps contact had already occurred, and humanity was simply not told. Still, the official statement from every agency was the same: NASA, ESA, JAXA. Silence wrapped in procedural language. The object designated 3I Atlas has been declared observationally lost, and yet astronomers continued to look. Night after night, their lenses combed the void, searching for a flicker that never returned. The stars remained unaltered, indifferent. The space between them, emptier than before. In that absence, a question lingered. If something can appear from another star and vanish without trace, where does it go? Does it return home or does it stay unseen? 3 nights later, the answer came. Not from the distant dark, not from another system, but from Earth's own upper atmosphere, where a single, structured transmission began to pulse, faint and deliberate, echoing the same rhythm that once defined 3I Atlas. Then 3 nights later, a transmission was detected, originating not from deep space, but from Earth's own upper atmosphere. It began as a whisper beneath the noise floor of the atmosphere, a trembling pattern hidden within the static hum of Earth's ionosphere. At first, it seemed nothing more than interference, a residual echo from charged particles colliding in the upper layers of air. But as the data accumulated, the pattern resolved itself, repeating intervals, precise modulations, structured sequences that bore no resemblance to natural radio emissions. The frequency was familiar. It mirrored the spectral blueprint once traced from 3I Atlas before its disappearance. Yet this time the signal was local, broadcast not from the distant dark, but from within the planet's own electromagnetic shell. It pulsed with deliberate intervals, every beat separated by the same prime number ratios once embedded in the interstellar traveler's spin modulation. The resemblance was beyond coincidence. It was continuity. Researchers across multiple observatories scrambled to verify the anomaly. The signal was faint, but consistent across hemispheres, detected simultaneously by antenna arrays from Hawaii to Novosibirsk. When decoded through Fourier analysis, its waveform revealed embedded harmonics that matched the vibrational frequencies of hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe, and the atomic constant often used in theoretical interstellar communication. But beneath those tones lay another layer. Hidden within the modulation lattice were ratios corresponding to adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, the 4 bases of human DNA. Coincidence, said some. Pattern-seeking minds finding meaning in randomness. Yet the precision defied chance. The harmonics aligned too perfectly, the sequence too intentional. It was as though the transmission was not meant to deliver a message in language, but in life's own mathematical code. Scientists proposed hypotheses as extraordinary as the data itself. Some suggested it was a reflection, Earth's own transmissions bouncing back through an atmospheric lens, distorted to appear alien. Others speculated that 3I Atlas had left behind a form of resonance trigger, a quantum interference pattern, now interacting with the planet's magnetosphere. A few dared to wonder if the object had never truly left, that it had transitioned into a state of existence beyond visibility, yet still active, still communicating, and as teams worked in isolation, their results converged toward a single unsettling truth. The signal wasn't reaching out. It was reaching in. It didn't seem to originate from the sky above, but from the atmospheric boundary where Earth meets the vacuum of space, where solar winds and terrestrial fields collide in constant exchange. In that liminal zone, the frequencies seemed to awaken, echoing through biological matter, subtly altering resonance readings even within human neural scans. The implication was staggering. Perhaps this was not an arrival but an activation, not an encounter from beyond, but a reawakening of something that had been embedded long before humans looked up at the stars. Something dormant, waiting for the right signal. Across every continent, the same pulse continued to whisper through the electromagnetic spectrum, a haunting reminder that communication may not always travel across